So, welcome. My name is Ryder Maven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I talk about all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Finn, JD, Roxanne, and poor Carlito. Now, has it begun? Has the Judgment Day implosion finally begun? Tonight, we saw Raquel and Roxanne lose their women's tag team titles to Charlotte and Alexa. I'm going to be breaking down that match, but I thought it was good. It had me worried for a second, but in the end, the right winners won. You can't argue against that result. And just because it fuels two storylines. I'll touch in on the rest of SummerSlam, but like I said, the majority of my talk is going to be pre-SummerSlam, pre-show, post-show, and I'm going to be saving all the other bits for SummerSlam Night 2. But like I said, I'm really believing that this is finally the start of your Judgment Day implosion. They can't keep it going anymore. At least not in this same setup and get up and whatever. I know we're all fatigued with the Judgment Day storyline. It hasn't made sense. Things still don't make sense, especially when it comes to Raquel nowadays. It's dragged on far too long. We've had Finn doing the same shit since last year, and Dom and Liv have just grown way too big for the Judgment Day. It's not even to the point where you can say that Dom needs to be the leader of Judgment Day. I gave up on that months ago. I really wanted him to become the leader because everybody else seemed like they had a shot at being a leader or leading Judgment Day, but they never did that for Dom. So now Dom just needs to leave along with Liv. Whatever happens with Judgment Day after that, hey, it's whatever. So, this SummerSlam, or at least the lead up into SummerSlam Night 1, has been interesting. I'm going to touch on a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff happened during the week, and today especially. And like I said, Raquel has been confusing as fuck. But let's get into it, shall we? So, pre-SummerSlam. This was happening during the week. Liv has been posting about the animals on her farm. We saw her holding a chicken with a fresh manicure, it looks like, and it looks like her to be her right hand. There's been a lot of speculation that maybe she's still on the farm, maybe she's still down there in Florida, but anybody who knows how the WWE operates knows that even with the weather happening right now, which was causing some delays, if the WWE wants you where you need to be, they will get you there. And now that the weather seems like it's cleared up, I'm really thinking Liv shows up tomorrow. Right now, the posts seem like these are throw off things, like down on the farm, yada yada yada. But like I said, she's been brought up way too much for her not to show up. If she doesn't, then oh well. But that's just where the clues are leading us. You can't hate on following a clue, especially something blatant like this. Now they could be like the Triple H and pull what he did tonight with Seth Rollins, but that's another topic for another time, and I don't have the patience to talk about Seth Rollins right now. But she's been posting animals. She's been posting about her animals, and she has been liking a lot of Dom's stuff. And speaking of El Jefe and Daddy Dom has had some new vlogs come out. Go check them out on WWE Social. It's going to be on YouTube. Go check those out. It was like his meet and greets. He had a Fanatics. He's done interviews. He was interviewed by CBS. Dom has been all over the place. That man is going. His trajectory is skyrocketing right now, and I couldn't be prouder of him. So go check out all the interviews. Check out his vlog. For instance, on certain interviews, Dom has mentioned that he would give up chicken tendies to get Liv back, which is very serious. Knowing how Dom is serious about his chicken tendies, that says a lot about him missing Liv. And he also said that Raquel said that they could handle Charlotte and Alexa, and that will come into play later on. Dom also had the humorous bit of referring to Roxanne as the other one or the other. So unlike what Michael Cole has been saying, he has not been paying attention to Roxanne at all. Giving her the time of day. He's being very dismissive of Roxanne, And if you follow Dom and Liv last year, you know that he was not this dismissive of Liv, other than the "I hate you" speech, which was designed to get Rhea to back off. He was never this dismissive of Liv last year. And even with Rhea, he wasn't this dismissive. So it says a lot for Dom to be this dismissive. I saw a video of when he saved Roxanne on Monday Night Raw. He immediately checked his nails. Some people check their nails. That's interesting. He's really bored with it. He did that with Roxanne. And I'm like, he's making it a mission to not show anything interesting or being interested in Roxanne. And then we're going to go lead into the SummerSlam kickoff. This was yesterday before SmackDown. AJ and Dom showed up. Old Unk, as AJ called himself. AJ mentioned TNA and how he was happy to show up and be down there. And he also mentioned that this SummerSlam might be his last SummerSlam. Dom showed up, and then there was a lot of trash talk back and forth. Dom got chance, and of course AJ had to bring up mommy. Dom can never escape Rhea. Everybody's got to bring up you turned on your daddy and your mommy, and I'm like, oh, good grief, AJ, here you too. But he brought that up, and it was just typical trash talk for a kickoff show. What is interesting with what AJ brought up is that he brought up TNA. Now, I still think that AJ is going to be involved with TNA, and I think he's going to be involved in this NXT TNA invasion storyline that they have going on right now. He could actually be the one that goes to TNA to help TNA get their belts back. So he could be a part of that storyline. So that again leads me to believe that Dom retains. I'm already believing that Dom retains. 80, I do 80-20 because you got to save 20% for Triple H's bullshit. But I really believe in Dom retains. There's no point in this title changing hands to AJ, because what's AJ's story? Unless you're going back with Bronson and Breaker, but it looks like they're going back to being stooges again. So I really think it's Dom. I think they would rather say put the title on Dom and keep the title on Dom until they're ready for him to put over somebody that they want to put over. And I'm not sure who that person is just yet, but I don't think it's not going to be an AJ, and I don't think it's going to be a Finn. So that was the kickoff. And then we went to the SummerSlam Night 1 pre-show. This was the little 3 or 4 hour long pre-show before SummerSlam. We had Raquel and Roxanne interviewed. Now, here's the interesting thing. Roxanne and Raquel trash talked New Jersey. And then Roxanne says she's going to be the greatest champion of all time. And it is a choice for Roxanne and Raquel to start trash talking New Jersey. New Jersey is Liv's home state. Would you trash talk the home state of your supposed bestie and sister? I can almost see Roxanne doing that, and even Roxanne is a little iffy because she really hasn't shown why she's like going after. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But Raquel is really off because like that's and even if you believe that she's going, she lives, she doesn't like her live, she's jealous, whatever, yada yada yada. She's still washy with how she goes back and forth regarding Liv. Like this isn't where somebody's trying to their disdain until the very last minute. It just goes very back and forth. Like you said, like you're trying to show that she can't make up her mind regarding Liv, or she can't stand Dom, or what. I don't know. It's just really, really, it's really, really being really, it's just really, really wishy-washy. Because, like I said, on Monday, this previous Raw, she was disapproving of Roxanne trying to play Switch 2 games with Dom. But now she's insulting Liv's home state. So why is she going back and forth like this? And then later on after SummerSlam, she's all pretty much kind of cheering who's sad about losing the title. So it's going back and forth, back and forth. Like again, this is kind of like a whole situation of pick a lane. Like, are we building up to where Roxanne is liking are we building up to Raquel liking Roxanne and then she ditches Liv for Roxanne, or is this a play for to and Roxanne into a trap? I don't know. It's just really it doesn't make sense. And that's what's been really hurting the Judgment Day storyline, especially in these last few months. Yeah, they had to deal with Liv's injury, but at this particular moment, I think they could have been able to figure out a story where we wouldn't be so confused about it. And then we had where Roxanne was cribbing Liv's slogans, like if she's replacing Liv, why is she replacing Liv? If she's following Finn, why is she following Finn? There's a lot of questions here on that. Like, what did he promise Roxanne to do all this stuff? What's her benefit? I mean, yeah, a title and maybe she gets to protect the Judgment Day, but it's just these are questions that should have been handled prior to Liv's injury. And everything is confusing, and that's why everybody wants Dom and Liv out now, especially. And so I'm also going back to my early theory or at least touching on that earlier theory, that it could have been Finn and Raquel were working together and Roxanne was being used. It's just, I've had that theory kind of muddling in the back of my head. Now, I don't know if that's really going to happen. That's just something that pops up just by the way Roxanne acts from time to time. Could be all of them in there together. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever causes this implosion, like, get it over with. Now we hit SummerSlam Night 1, and we had Roxanne and Raquel versus Alexa and Charlotte. It was a great match. Roxanne, again, is using her power move. She has kicked it into another level. I love it for her. She and Raquel and Charlotte need another match just by themselves. A proper one-on-one match. I need to see that happen. The gears were eating. We had the red and leopard print on Raquel and Roxanne, and that's a really interesting choice there, considering the Judgment Day's color scheme. We've had black and red before, and white and black and purple, but we've never had that cheetah print before. That's really interesting. And of course, Charlotte and Alexa didn't match, but they had a similar aesthetic. But the gears were eating. I particularly liked Charlotte's gear. She's been eating in her gears. I don't know what she's done, but I don't know what her gear maker's done, but she's been really sparkly, and I love her gears. The spots where Raquel saved Roxanne and the spots where Charlie saved Alexa were nice. Like when Raquel saved Roxanne and Alexa hit Charlotte, I was like, oh shit. Because I was thinking, oh no, we're going to have that turn in this match where I think it's too premature, and that's going to have Roxanne and Raquel retain. And so when Alexa broke up that pin on that one, I was bringing this out of relief. And then when Alexa had Roxanne and the sister Abigail, we see Charlotte rise up from the corner, and then I'm like, again, oh shit. Charlotte's going to, I'm hoping against hope, Charlotte's not going to turn. She's save that for later on. But what she did, she big booted Raquel. Alexa did the sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3, and we have new women's tag team titles. I was happy for that. That needed to happen. They had a nice little run right there. They got their defenses in, and now Alexa and Charlotte are your new champions. Now, the important thing to note here is that Roxanne has lost Liv's title. That was Liv's title. Roxanne was holding it for her. Now she's lost it. So now there's going to be some trouble there. If Liv is really concerned about it. Because Liv posted right after this match, like, oh, shucks. She was like, oh, shucks. She really didn't give a fuck. And it's really obvious in the post she put on the X. She's like, oh, shucks. Again, we're hoping this starts the Judgment Day implosion later on after this match. If you can see this on WWE Espanol, you will see Roxanne and Raquel being interviewed. Raquel is cheering up Rox, and she says that they have a rematch. She says that Liv is going to be mad, and that they didn't. And another thing with this, at the post show when they were talking to Charlotte and Alexa, they didn't even include Roxanne's name in the infographic saying who Charlotte and Alexa beat at SummerSlam. It was just Raquel. So I'm like, what? Raquel is the only one that was beaten here? They did the same thing at Night of Champions too, and that's still really fucked up. How are you going to drop Roxanne out of the equation? She was in the match. She was the interim or whatever champion, tag team champion, and you just pretty much drop Roxanne's name out the infographic on who Charlotte and Alexa beat? Come on. I'm wanting the Judgment Day's implosion, but that's foul. That's a whole person you're missing out of the infographic. So the little post show or post interview with Roxanne and Raquel again are a little bit confusing because she's cheering her up. They say they have a rematch that could be on Monday, that could be on Friday. I would not be surprised if that rematch is on Monday, because you can have Charlotte and Alexa pop up on Raw, especially since everybody might be doing a lot of shit for night 2 anyway. So you could just have them pop up on Raw, have the rematch, because this is where we're hoping Liv is back at this point. So you can have Roxanne and Raquel have the rematch and then still lose. Maybe even to some interference with maybe the Boogie Warriors, because they still have that tag team still has beef with them. So you could do a couple of different things there. So we're coming up on SummerSlam Night 2. I am predicting 80-20. You know me, I can't do a full prediction because Triple H is gonna Triple H. So I'm going 80% Dominik wins with AJ against AJ. This could be with or without Liv's help. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. You could have Liv help, or you could have El Grande Americano Dos and Tres show up. We never know. It could be a whole clusterfuck of shenanigans and things, and maybe at the end, Liv really helps out Dom. So we could have Dom win that, and I am thinking he's going to win that. Liv will be back. Finn is a wild card. Now, it's totally dependent on what happens during the pre-show. If we get a Judgment Day segment where Finn is talking about being out there or something like that, maybe we can have some Finn interference. But if it's just like Dom being interviewed and you don't see any other Judgment Day member, it's probably just going to be Dom on his own, and then Liv shows up. So it is totally dependent on the pre-show. So watch the pre-show tomorrow.